They don't know me, son. Get it. 18. They don't know me, son. Get it. 19. They don't know me, son. Yeah. 20. You got some more in you. 21. Yeah. Get it again. Come on. We want to see it. Good. 22. Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? That's you, buddy. Come on. 23. Come on. 24. One more, David. Who's one more going to carry the boats? You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You did it. Yeah. Who's going to carry the fucking boats?
Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? Let's go. Hey, I was muted. Oh, wait, was it muted the whole time? Oh, we gotta wrap it back up. Hold on. Might as well go back.
They don't know me, son. Get it. 18. They don't know me, son. Get it. 19. They don't know me, son. Yeah. 20. You got some more in you. 21. Yeah. Get it again. Come on. We want to see it. Good. 22. Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? That's you, buddy. Come on. 23. Come on. 24. One more, David. Who's one more going to carry the boats? You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You did it. Yeah. Who's gonna carry the fucking boats?
Yo. Hey. Yo. Hey. Round 2. Let's go. Hey. Some of y'all needed it today. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're coming from. Hope y'all are doing well. Woo, ooh, ooh. Y'all feel that? I felt it. I felt it. Yo, OCC, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. That's wild. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. I love that all the prime and the subs are just y'all. Hope y'all doing well, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get in here. Woo. Today's a real one. That's all I'm gonna say. Today's a real one. Woo. We do have, as always, question of the day, and it's very on point today. Question of the day is: would you rather carry boats or logs? Dabble, hey, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Would you rather carry the boats? Would you rather carry the logs? You got to carry some of them. So what are you, logs or boats? Boats, logs are too rolly. But if I carry the logs, who's going to carry the boats? They haven't thought of this yet. They haven't thought about it yet. There's people that are just confused. They're like, Leon, I didn't check the message on Discord. I didn't open the email. So this bolts and locks stuff, I don't know what everybody's talking about, but alrighty, folks, get in here, get in here. As always, I like to start off with some questions. So give me some questions while we let folks run to their computer. I got some water today, straight water. Bangers only. Pasta or pizza? Pasta all day long. Hydro homies, of course. Who you got for the Super Bowl? I think somebody asked me in the Ask Leon channel, and my response was Google's who's playing in the Super Bowl. I'm in LA, so I think I have to do the Rams, but I always liked the Bengals when I was growing up. Yeah, I said it that way. Yeah. I think I'm going with did some networking. Hey, questions: how do I secure the bag? What's the next step in an interview? Or maybe even talk. How do I approach the situation moving forward? So if you're already networking and meeting people, keep it casual at first. You don't have to go straight for the jugular, right? Keep in touch, keep giving them value, stay in their radar. And then once we get through like Node is when it gets a little bit more serious with the job hunt. So for now, just say, hey, like it was great meeting you, give them some value and say, hey, I would love to connect in like another month or so when I'm starting to look for opportunities. Yeah, don't go straight for the jugular. Keep it friendly, right? Yeah. Can we get jobs at Fang with just this boot camp? We had a lot of people that did it last cohort, but I don't want you to go to Fang. I don't. I think there's so many other wonderful startups, companies out there that pay really well, have great work-life balance that you don't have to buy into the hype. Did you start Pokemon yet? No, not yet. Are we looking for the basic layouts to be just like the photos? We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk through each layout. We're going to walk through each one together. We gave a little bit more time for the homework. So we start JavaScript next week. Hold up. What? Yes, that's right. JavaScript next Thursday. Me, you, 4,000 plus other people. We're doing that thing. So really, tonight and Tuesday's class are our kind of first dabbles with HTML and CSS. We move right into JavaScript. And then once we have enough JavaScript, we have the ability to build beautiful front ends. We'll come back, we'll add more CSS and JavaScript. Add more CSS and HTML, but we keep it moving. And that's the thing. The thing is that you don't need to overinvest in HTML and CSS early on. You got the basics, we're gonna keep it moving. On Tuesday, we're going to touch more about Flexbox. We'll do a little bit of Flexbox. We'll do a few layouts with Flexbox, and then we move straight on. That's it. We keep it moving. Once we have the ability to build stuff, right? Like once we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you'll be building real front end. So I like to get away from HTML and CSS pretty quickly because we don't have all the tools on our tool belt yet, right? We don't have all the tools in our tool belt yet, so we can't really do too much. But once we're building full stack web applications, then we come back to it. We add in more stuff that we need to make it happen. But here's the thing. You already have everything you need. You already have everything you need. You don't need more. You just don't. If you're building these layouts with floats, you're good. Move on. You're good. If you're like, what about Flex? What about Grid? You don't need it. Just move on. Nobody's going to hire you because you're really good at Flexbox. Let me say that one more time. Nobody's going to hire you because you're really good at Flexbox. That's just not going to happen. You're not going to get a job because you're great at Flexbox. Right? So we move on to get the skills that you actually need to get a job. Right? You have enough to get your hands dirty. Right? You have enough to build the basics of what you need to build. Right? And on Tuesday, we'll play a little bit with Flex. Right? But don't overinvest. We got to keep it moving. Are they going to hire me for being good at floats? Hell no. Hell no. there are very few jobs out there for folks with just HTML and CSS skills. Do they exist? Yes. But a lot of people get caught up in this idea of like, I'm going to be a front-end developer and all I'm going to do is write HTML and CSS. Those jobs are few and far between. Maybe if you're writing HTML emails, or maybe if you're attached to like a marketing team and that's all you're turning out. But that's like, those are the only jobs. Front end is going to be a lot more JavaScript, a lot more other stuff built in. And so we got to keep adding those tools to our tool belt. There ain't no jobs out there for what we just have right now. Baddies check in. Thank you for the questions. I think we got folks coming in. So let's go ahead and talk about something special that happened today, folks. So on Tuesday's class, since we had our lovely networking night, and shout out to everyone that came to the networking night, we had over 3,000 people on Remo. Let's sink that in for a little bit. We had over 3,000 plus people on Remo, networking, meeting each other, hanging out. I know Shufflegate happened and some people got shuffle locked, but we still had so many folks that got to interact, got to do their first maybe real world networking. It was really beautiful to see so many folks say like, Leon, I was terrified of it, but it wasn't so bad. That's kind of where I want you to be with the networking. It might be super terrifying, but slowly you'll start to realize maybe it's not so bad. All right. It worked. I loved it. Hey, I'm glad that some of you all enjoyed it. I know that Remo can be finicky, but here's the real truth. With the amount of people we have, right? We have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people showing up to a class. Right now, we still have about 5,000 peak each class. Like we still each class break over 5,000. We sit around 4,000 something concurrent, right? But with that amount of people, it's really hard to find a platform where they're not just talking wild to me. I got on the phone with some people that run these platforms and they're like, oh yeah, one event that'll be a cool 10,000. I'm like, what? Excuse me? What? So yeah, we're gonna have to keep it hacky. We're gonna keep it hacky. We're gonna keep it. We had to split it out across 6 groups. I didn't get any angry emails, so I think it worked. But I know Remo can be finicky for some folks, but it's what we got to do to make it happen. We're looking at other platforms, but at this size, boy does it get expensive. So we used what we had. We made it work. Next time I won't shuffle. And I think more people will get through it. No. All right. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up was that at the end of that like networking session, I sent out a follow-up message on Discord like I always do. And at the end I said, hey, we didn't do a raid. Sam, hey, thank you for the sub. Cool problem to have. Yeah, true story, right? We didn't have a raid, so I said, hey, let's raid Mewtrue's YouTube video. And I said, if we got him over 1,000 subs on YouTube, I would do the first bit of merch. So that's true. That's what happened. We did the first bit of merch, and we got over 1,000. I don't know where they're at right now, but it's over 1,000. So in today's newsletter, I put a super secret Google form. Now, don't go and do it now because it won't count. But I put in a super secret Google form. Now, if you filled out that form before class started, you are available to enter this upcoming raffle. We're going to do another merch raffle at the end. So this was for the special one. If folks open the newsletter, right? At the end of the newsletter, there was a Google form. If you filled it out before class started, you're going to be eligible for this first raffle. Then at the end of class, we'll do a raffle for the first 100 devs t-shirt of this cohort, right? We're not going to do a merch drop yet. It's coming. We're working on new stuff. So tonight we're raffling off a sticker and then we'll raffle off a t-shirt. Now, why did you put it in the newsletter, Leon? Because I want you to open the newsletter. I put important information in there. It's how you'll never miss another class again, right? So if you're not part of the newsletter, !newsletter, sign on up. Make sure you open those emails, folks, because sometimes there's prizes inside, just like the best cereal. So I am going to open the raffle for folks that filled out the Google form in the newsletter before class starts. If you enter this raffle and you win, and I check the Google form and you didn't fill out the form before class, I'm banning you from everything. Anything I can ban you from. I'm blocking you on Twitter. I'm banning you on Discord. I'm banning you on Twitch. I'm doing everything I can to erase you from my life, right? So when I open up the raffle, only enter if you put your info in that Google form before class started. I'm going to check. I would love to ban you live on stream. So I'm going to open up the raffle now. Only do the command if you filled out that form. Alrighty. So the raffle is open. If you filled out the newsletter before class started, you can do !raffle to enter the raffle. !raffle. And I'll leave it open for 60 seconds or so here. 60 seconds or so, just for folks that filled it out before class started. And then we'll do another raffle at the end for everyone. Alrighty, we're gonna keep it open for another 10 seconds here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we say bye-bye.
All right, entries are closed. And we're gonna pick a winner. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right, Dasher 64 is the winner. Dasher 64 is the winner. You should get like a little message that you can use to fill out. Now the fun part starts. Did you listen? And let's check the form. All right. Checking the form. Let's see. Come on. Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.
You got.
You did get got. Let's see. I'm double checking. Dasher, I don't see you, Dasher. You didn't even fill it out after. Like, not even like a sneakily.
Bruh.
Rip. All right, where's the... Rip. All right, banned. I'll ban you from Discord later.
First try.
All right, let's try it again. Y'all rude. All right, so I'll pick a different winner. 3, 2, 1. All right. Crake. Let's see. Another one. Another ban. I gotta make sure I'm opening up the right form here before I ban all these people. if you filled out the form and I banned you, I'll ban you after stream. Why didn't you listen? Why didn't you listen? Yeah. I did it. I don't see you. I think you fibbing. Oh, maybe I spelled it crack. Let's see. Break. You ain't on the form, bruh. You ain't on the form. You ain't on the form. You ain't on the form. You ain't. I can see that they have like a little special chat where I can see just their chat. I can see just their chat, but you ain't on the form. You ain't on here. Let's refresh it. Let's refresh it just to be sure. Nope. Nope. That's a ban. All right. Let's do it again. All right. Banned. Next. We'll try one more. Third try. Feticha. Feticha. Let's see. Not on the list. Hold on. Maybe the search is wrong. Maybe I don't think we have this many people that would be just out here lying. No. Not on the list. You didn't do it. What? 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 Guess it's a ban. Edicha, type in chat if you really did it or not. Just tell me if you really did it or not in chat. So just put it in chat. Tell me if you really did it or not. I'll be able to see you. They redeemed it. Now you hella banned. They redeemed it before I could ban them. Nope, you hella banned now. I was gonna unban everyone afterwards. Like the other two folks that got banned, I'm gonna unban you at the end of stream. Right? I'm gonna unban you, but you hella banned. They said I did it right now. Nope, you perma banned. Boop. Bye. I've gone mad with power. The other two folks that I ban, I'll unban you. But you're perma banned. They're like, I didn't do it. I did it right now, and I'm gonna redeem it. they're just saying ha 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 ha. All right, you banned. Bye. All right, we'll hold on, let's do another one. We have to do another one now because people are slick. People are slick. One second. Got to queue it up. All right, once again, when I open it, only fill it out if you put your name on that form. Because now we saw that it's real. Now we saw that it's real. We're really handing out these bans here. Y'all getting banned over a sticker. All right. Only if you filled out the form before class should you do exclamation point raffle. Exclamation point raffle. Boom. Exclamation point raffle. Is this all we're doing tonight for class? No, I wish we would have done this very quickly, but people can't listen apparently. All over a sticker. Bands will make them dance. All right. Only if you filled it out before class. I'm gonna leave it open for 30 seconds, then we're gonna get into it. Y'all making my heart rate go up. This abnormal heart rate. I don't want to have to be doing these bands. Look what y'all doing to me. All right, last one. I'm gonna close the entries here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closed. Let's pick a winner. Special K Trading. Hey, legit. All right, we got our legit winner. The crowd goes wild. They're on the form. Congratulations. Finally. All right. Congratulations. Make sure you go ahead and redeem that. You should get a little message here, a little ping on stream. Make sure you fill that out, and you will be able to redeem your sticker. All right. Well done. Well done. Didn't expect that to take as long as it took. But congrats. All right. So that's the newsletter. I always put some cool stuff in the newsletter. It's one of the best ways for me to stay in touch with everyone. So if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, I recommend you do it. And that way you can see cool stuff. Every once in a while, I throw like a raffle in the right at the bottom of the email, just as something for fun. Alrighty. Let's get real. We talked a lot about who's going to carry the boats and the logs, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And this class is going to be a little bit shorter than normal because I really do want you all to have more time for those layouts, right? So I extended the deadline for the layouts to not next Tuesday, but next Thursday, but I added an extra one or two. Okay, you got more time. You got the weekend. On Tuesday, we're going to spend time doing some of the layouts together. We're going to be using some Flexbox. We're going to be doing some fun stuff with the layouts. But I'm going to give you some more time. I want you to have the time that you need to kind of get through these before we jump into JavaScript. There's also some stuff to watch. So you got a little bit more time, but you got a little bit more work and a little bit more things to do. So I hope that it helps. Can you use Flexbox? You can if you want. I recommend that you do them all with floats. Yeah. I recommend you all do them with floats. And then if you want to push and you want to go deeper, redo them with Flexbox. Do them with both, right? If you have the time, right? Yes, it's uncommon to have an HTML and CSS job only. Do they exist? Absolutely. But they're typically lower paid and a little bit less common to run into, but they exist. We have some folks that got from last cohort that do just HTML and CSS, but yeah, they're smaller. Cool. All right. The reason I asked you all to watch the Carry the Boats and the Logs video is for a very, very important reason. We are entering the trough of sorrow, right? We are entering the trough of sorrow, but we have not yet hit the bottom. Let me say it again. We have not yet hit the bottom. Okay. And the reason why I bring this up is because you are about to enter into a phase. You're at a point where it's a decision-making time, right? You're at a point where I've seen over the past 10 years, thousands of students, hundreds of jobs. You're at a very, very special point in the trough of sorrow. And this trough of sorrow is a little incorrect. The trough of sorrow actually has, as you're going down the wearing off of novelty, like as you come off of Udemy Hill and you're going down the wearing off of novelty, that hill has a little gap in it, right? It has a little gap in it. And that gap is a very, very important gap to bring up. You all have now had a taste of what it's like to be in this class, right? A taste, a small taste. You gave me a month, which is what I asked, right? Is what I asked. And now you get to make a decision. In that month, do you feel like you've grown? In that month, do you feel like you've learned? In that month, do you feel like you found a community that can help support you, right? Because if you have, then I really hope that you can jump across this gap and crash into the bottom of the trough of sorrow. But I always want to make sure that I highlight a very, very important point about this gap. This gap is a point of privilege. And it's where a lot of folks fall through before they even get to the bottom of the trough of sorrow. A lot of folks that make it to this point, but don't make it to the end, it's really a bulk of the time this gap. And this gap is the privilege of having your life come together in this moment, right? In this moment, to then make it through the rest of the trough of sorrow. Not everyone can pull life together in this moment to get across this gap. And we have some folks that will fall through. And the reason why I bring it up is because I don't want you to beat yourself up. I want you to forgive yourself if this moment is not the moment for you. We are about to embark on something that is a long trough of sorrow. You're starting to see the amount of work that it takes, the time in class, the time outside of class, the homework, the networking is now becoming a thing. Daily coding challenges are becoming a thing. There's more stuff that are going to be put on the pile as we turn things up. And not everyone will have the privilege of life coming together enough to make it across this gap. The folks that have the opportunity, right? The folks that have the opportunity, they can pull life together, they can get across that gap, they typically make it to the end because you have to make a choice. If you are lucky enough to have the things going in your favor, you have access to a computer, you have access to the internet, you have access to time, you have access to maybe someone watching the kids while you're in class, you have access to all these things that make it so that you can jump across the gap. My ask to you is that you don't waste it. Not everyone gets this opportunity, and so I don't want you to waste it. Cool. Now, the next 25 weeks are going to be tough. And so I just want to say it one more time about this gap. This gap has nothing to do with aptitude. This app has nothing to do with how good you are at math. This gap has nothing to do with your typing speed. This gap has nothing to do with your logic or reasoning skills. It's about life coming together. right? If it is, and you make it across the gap, then it comes down to the key things that we've been talking about from day one. It's about managing your frustration. If you have the privilege of being able to jump across that gap and hurtle yourself into the bottom of the trough of sorrow, it's going to come down to managing your frustration. The reason why I know that you're not at the bottom of the trough of sorrow is because you still have a little bit of hope left in you. Right? You're still holding on to some threads that this will be okay. Right? That this will be okay. That there's like this internal voice that's saying to you, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. The moment that voice turns off and the demon comes out that tells you, I can't do this. I won't be able to network. I won't be able to learn JavaScript. I won't be able to, like, as soon as that demon comes out, that's when you're in the trough of sorrow. When it's full blaring in the back of your head, right? Right? Full blaring in the back of your head. The kind whispers that used to be there aren't there anymore. That's when you know you're in the trough of sorrow, at the bottom, right? When it feels like you can't catch up, when it feels like things are getting too tough, things are piling on, when it feels like there's not any light at the end of the trough. That's when you're at the bottom. But I'm here to tell you, this community has seen hundreds of people in that darkest moment do one really important thing. I'm going to jump ahead here. I want to jump ahead to it because I think it's important to say. They did one really important thing. And it comes from the quote from the video I asked you to watch. I'm going to read it out. You have to go into these dark chambers that we often shut off. You got to open them up. You got to fight that fucking demon. You got to get in there and talk to that monster, that motherfucker, and say, what's up? You all are about to hit a point where you're going to have to kick open that door and say, what's up to that inner demon. And so tonight, I'm spending some time trying to mentally prepare you for that, right? That idea that if you have the privilege to jump the gap, that you're going to hit the bottom. And the only way through, once you hit that bottom, is to get in there and say, what's up? And so that's what we're preparing for tonight. This idea, I'm going to go way back here. This idea that once you make the gap, it really honestly is a click. It's a decision that you make, right? It's a mindset. It's a mentality that my students have that go from here to getting jobs, right? That go from here to getting a job. So if you're able to bridge that gap, you have to commit to managing your frustration. You have to commit to finding your grit and letting no one get in your way. The biggest thing I like to tell people is don't let me get in your way. I don't want to ever hear you say, Leon, you didn't teach this or you didn't cover that in much detail. Fuck me. The internet is infinite, right? The internet is infinite. You could have found tutorials. You could have done more. Don't even let me get in your way of becoming successful. When things don't make sense, show your grit. Get on Discord. Leon, I posted on Discord once. Nobody answered my question. All right. Try again. Try revisiting the question. Does it make sense? Right? Does it make sense? Maybe I could ask the question in a different way. Don't be the person that sits there and puts that on someone else. That puts it on me. That puts it on the different YouTube people that you listen to. It's on you, and it's a decision. It's a mindset. It's a mentality. Are you going to do everything in your power to make it to the end? You owe you, right? Dr. Eric Thomas, you owe you, right? Are you going to do everything in your power to succeed? Sometimes you got to get a little wild with it, right? You got to unlock that inner baddie. You got to write some bad code. You got to do some bad things, right? But you have to make that choice. I can see it. I can always see it in my students' eyes. I can always see it. I mentioned this once before. I could see it. I would have students that walked in the classroom, they sat down, they said, "What's up?" And they weren't saying what's up to me. They were saying what's up to that voice in the back of their head. They got in early. They stayed late. When they didn't understand something, they asked questions. They didn't take no for an answer. So if you can make the gap, it's a decision that you make. And I have to say that because some people don't have that privilege of making it across the gap. But if you do, it is a decision that you make. So make the decision. Second thing, we know that we have to be consistent. We're trying to go from 0 to employed in just 30 weeks with class just twice a night. Sorry, twice a week. We're trying to go from 0 to employed in 30 weeks with just meeting for class twice a week. That is a wild proposition. And so the only way that works is if you're being consistent when you're not in class. Are you finding time to study every day? Do you have a schedule? Are you still waking up and going into class like an accident? We talked about this over and over again, right? Some of you right now are not doing Anki every day. Some of you are not doing Anki every day. Why are you here? Why are you here? I don't know how many times I've brought up Anki every day. We got to be consistent. We know the science. It's not even me. You watch the videos. You saw the papers. You know the science. You know how our brains work. You know that active recall is how you cement ideas in the moment, and spaced repetition is how you cement them for the rest of your career. And if you're not doing it, why are you here? Leon isn't mad, he's just disappointed. No, I'm not. I'm excited. I want all of y'all to realize that if you are here and that you have the privilege of time, the privilege of an internet connection, the privilege of a computer to watch me on, the privilege of being able to take 6-9 hours to sit in a classroom and watch some person on the screen, that is an amazing opportunity that I don't want you to waste. And we know the things that work, right? I told you, give me a little bit of trust. I think I've earned just a little bit of trust. I think you've been coming to class. I think I did my job a little bit okay. I think I earned a little bit of it, right? I'm telling you that this is what has helped thousands of people I've taught to learn how to code. I've taught hundreds of folks how to get jobs. This is the way I've seen work the best. I think a lot of you have come from other places. You have tried other things and they have not worked. This is the process that we're talking about. Even if you turn me off and you never listen to me again, the people that do these things are going to be more successful at learning how to code. So if you can jump the gap, If you're able to jump the gap, you're embarking on a process of managing your frustration, and you're embarking on a process of being consistent. You will not make it through this program without being consistent, without putting in work every day. And that's why I say this might not be the time for you. Hey, thank you for the 5 Get the subs, Demetrius. What's going on? Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Right? This might not be the time for you. You might not have that hour a day. You might not have those 3 hours on Tuesday and Thursday for class. But I bet that if you're here and you've been able to consistently show up, right? And you have that privilege, please don't squander it. All right. And the last thing is taking care of yourself. A lot of people are already starting to get hurt. Fingers are starting to get sore, right? Fingers are starting to get sore. Wrists are starting to get tight. Forearms are starting to feel little twinges. Please take care of yourself. We got 25 more weeks, right, of hard work. You have class, you have homework, you have networking, you have daily coding challenges, you have freelancing clients you have to get, you have 100 hours projects that you have to do. It's going to be a lot. You have to take care of yourself if you want to make it through this process. Cool. Submitting work. Originally, we had some work to submit today. I don't want it. Make it better. I don't want it. Make it better. A lot of folks got through the layouts already. Great. Make them better. If you're done everything, make them better. Right? This will always be your mandate, right? This will always be your mandate. Make it better, right? So I'm going to assign more layouts this week. You're going to have up until next week to finish them. As you finish them, make them better. Do them with floats. Write bad code. Once you get done them, great. Go back. Try with Flexbox. Ooh, right? Once that's done, go back, make it a little bit better, right? Know how much time you have and know how much you can put into putting into this work, right? I'm not asking you to find magical time, right? I'm asking you with the time that you do have that you're consistent with it, right? That you're consistent with it, right? We got a little bit of taste of networking, right? This is where for a lot of folks the demon starts to wake up a little bit, right? This is where demons start to wake up a little bit for some folks. They see this networking idea, this idea that we're gonna have to talk to real humans, but I can't tell you how many messages I get. I cannot tell you how many messages I get. In fact, I got one in the Ask Leon channel. I think I answered it today or yesterday. Leon, I applied to 500 jobs. 500. I applied to 500. I got like nothing out of it. No jobs, no anything. I did a boot camp. Some other folks in my boot camp got offers. Why didn't I get offers? I studied these things. I wrote this code. I'm getting better at data structures and algorithms. I do all this stuff. Why am I not getting jobs? It's because it just doesn't matter. The network you build is the easiest way to open doors. And so when I say that, there are some folks, Alpha Sis, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. When I say that, that scares a lot of people. A lot of people go, Leon, I thought this would just be coding and I get a job. No. The networking is the thing that opens the doors for you. And everyone can find something that enables them to do networking in a comfortable way. And when I talked about pushing yourself, managing frustration, networking is on that pile. You can't just give up and say, Leon, I'm an introvert. I don't like networking. People scare me. Bye. You can't do that. You have to invest in figuring out things that are going to help you through the networking. There is a way for each person to network in a way that works and feels comfortable for them. And you are going to attempt all those different ways until you find something that doesn't make you poop your pants. We're going to keep doing networking nights. We're going to keep giving you places to practice that are with friends, that are with the community. We're going to keep doing it. But you have to make that choice. You have to make that click and say, I don't want to be one of the people that have applied to 500 places and nothing happens. You have to build a network. You have to have people that'll open doors for you, that'll get your resume to the top of the pile, that will be your champions at companies, that will be the person that says, I vouch for this person. So we're going to spend a lot of time on how to network. We talked about just the basics, just the surface. Guess what? We're going to talk about it pretty much every class going forward, right? So you're going to have to make that decision. Everyone has to make that decision tonight. Is this going to be the thing that stops you, or are you going to carry some boats and logs and keep it moving? How do I explain a multi-year gap in your resume? I said this before and people got mad on Twitter. You are freelancing. That is the answer that has helped hundreds of my students get jobs with big gaps on their resume. You are freelancing. I am not here to be the perfect candidate. I am not here to be the most scrupulous person ever on the face of this earth. I'm here to get a job. I honestly believe companies don't care about you. If they could fire you and pay someone cheaper, they would. I don't care about their bullshit process. I'm going to give you every hack to get in the door. It's up to you if you want to use those hacks or not. But you were freelancing. You will get paid clients. You will have rehearsed and practiced how to explain that gap in the lens of freelancing. And it works. I've had folks that were literally incarcerated, returning citizens after 5-6 years, that got amazing jobs because they were freelancing. That's on you. And you don't have to worry about those things. We're going to get to those things when we get further into the cohort, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people have these pent up like excuses, that things that like make you really afraid that you're not gonna be able to get a job at the end. I have seen folks come from all walks of life, shapes, size, colors, creeds. It does not matter. It's a decision that you make right now. It's a decision. That's all it is. It's a decision. Do you want it or not? That's all it is. It comes down. It's a binary choice. Do you want it or not? I had you listen to that Dr. Eric Thomas video. You owe you. But the thing they said in that video, and I can't say it any better, just like they say, is that winners win and losers lose. I can't say it any better. Winners win and losers lose. Are you a winner? Are you a loser? And are you going to win by any means necessary? Because that's what I'm about. I'm going to win by any means necessary. These companies don't care about you. If they could get you for cheaper, they would. Fuck them. I'm going to get the bag. And I'm going to do it by any means necessary. Winners wins, losers lose. You got to pick right now. Do you want to be a winner or do you want to be a loser? That's all that's all it is. All right? Because there's so much bullshit. And the reason why I'm this way is not because I'm trying to be shady or tricky. It's just that there's so much bullshit in between you getting the job and what you actually do on the job, and none of it actually is a good qualifier. right? None of it is a good qualifier. There's a bunch of odd gatekeepers and bullshit that stands in your way, because by the end of this cohort, you will have amazing skills. You will be wonderful software engineers. You will have lots of value to provide to these entry-level companies, right? And just because it's a Thursday and the recruiter likes to talk backwards and wear hats, and you showed up in a hat and talk forwards, your resume doesn't go to the next round. It just doesn't make any sense. So I don't play into that game. I play the numbers, right? That's why we network in the 60 locations, because 10 of those applications are going to be because you like the color purple and they hate purple. It just doesn't matter, right? It just doesn't matter. Winners win, losers lose. Make up your mind. What do you want to be? You'll have the skills. You'll be able to talk that talk and walk that walk. But there's so much bullshit in the way that you can't let that be what stops you. Baddies win, exactly. Can you be a motivational speaker? No, I don't like giving these motivational talks, but I think it's something that you need to hear. I think it's something that's going to help you, because it's about to get real dark and scary out there, folks. And so I need you to make some decisions tonight. I need you to dig deep and figure out what you want. And I want you to realize that if you have a computer, you have an internet connection, you have time, you have an amazing privilege, and you can make it to the end, but it's your decision. And so I pop off like this, specifically in this class, because next week we get to JavaScript, and then we get to Node, and then we get to actually interviewing. And each one of those steps, that demon comes back. And you have to be ready to kick open that door and say, what's up? And so you're saying, Leon, can you get to class? This is class. This is what the whole class is going to be tonight. And then we're going to end. You're going to work on your layouts. And the reason I'm doing this is because I think some of you need to hear it. You might be right now saying this is a waste of your time. That's okay. It's not for you. It's for that person that's hanging on by a thread, that really wants this at the end of the day, but is starting to let that demon creep in. That's who this is for. If you're good, I'm glad. Come back on Tuesday. We'll be back to regular programming. But there's too many folks that have to make that decision tonight. And this is what this rant is for. It's not for you, it's for them. Cool. Talked about this networking, taking strangers and turning them into friends. That's all networking is, folks. I see so many folks kind of like overthinking it, and it's okay. You got to practice. You got to figure it out. You got to try things that don't work, that do work, right? But at the end of the day, it's just strangers into friends. And just treat it that way. Don't overthink the email. Just send the email. Don't overthink the LinkedIn message. Just send it. You're going to get it wrong a lot, but you're going to get it way, way right so many times. And it's a numbers game, right? It's all it is. So don't stress when you're sending out those emails. Don't stress about the LinkedIn messages. Just send them. You'll get through it. You'll get better at it, and you'll be able to see people's reactions, right? Maybe they're like really weirded out by the message you sent. That's okay. You learn not to send that kind of message. You move on, right? Right. Make sure your consistency is not just the learning to code now, right? Your consistency is like this whole process that we're committing to, right? Right? It's the whole process that we're committing to. Your consistency is also following up with people on emails, following up with people on LinkedIn, following with people on Twitter, right? Like that whole process is part of your consistency now. So I keep bringing it up, and I'm going to say it one more time. Please make sure you plan out your days. Make sure you plan out your week. Don't go into your day like an accident. Make sure you're doing your active recall, your spaced repetition. Make sure you're doing your follow-ups, right? That's all part of consistency. All part of consistency. We go over LinkedIn, we're going to have full classes on it. Like I said, we just start with the tip of the tippy top of the iceberg when it comes to networking. Each class, we're going to introduce more. We'll introduce LinkedIn. We'll introduce how to get better at all these different places, right? But what you need to do is make sure that you're ready to commit to a process. right? All right. We showed the stuff, coffee chats. Make sure that's again, part of your consistency is keeping up this process of coffee chats. And so that's why I need to bring up this class, right? You're going down this rapid trough of sorrow, right? You're going down this rapid trough of sorrow, and you're starting to see the bottom. You're like, Leon, oh, hold on. I have homework. I have class. I have office hours. I have spaced repetition. I have networking. I have following up with my network connections. I have following up with my coffee chats. I have daily coding challenges. I have to learn new material, right? I'm going to skip this for a second. I'm going to go here. Shit just got real, right? Shit just got real. The wearing off of novelty has happened, right? You're starting to see the novelty wear off, right? Shit's getting real, and you gotta make some decisions. So I want y'all to take a break. We're gonna take our normal 5 minutes. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about some of the bigger things that are coming up in the next few weeks. We're gonna talk a little bit more about mindset, mentality. We're gonna review all the layouts together. We are going to then maybe end a little early. So maybe like one break tonight and then another hour. And then I want you to have some class time to do something special. I want you to do something special today. So we're going to give you a little bit of time to do it, but let's go ahead and take our break. And while we take the break, please contemplate. Are you going to make that switch tonight? Are you going to make that claim that this is what you want, and you're going to let nothing get in your way? Think about really if you're able to make it across that gap, if you're ready to make it across that gap, and think about if this is what you want. Cool. Let's take a break. Lena Lux, hey, thank you for the raid. 204 new folks coming through. Hope your stream went well. We were just about to take a break, but I'm glad you stopped by. Thank you for the raid. How'd your stream go? Hope it went well. Thank you for coming on over, Raiders. I like our we do a Sunday office hours, and that's kind of like the only time that you are still streaming when I'm done. So the next time we see it, we're sending you back because I love hanging out at your stream. It's one of my favorite channels to have up while I'm working. I get a lot of work done while you're up. Stream was great. Hope you're doing well. I am. Thanks for bringing everybody by. Hope you all had a good day. But I'll share again on Discord, folks, their link, just because if you weren't there for that original raid, hands down, my favorite channel in the category. I'm always lurking, and I love having it up while I'm working. So inspirational, and another fantastic community. So I'm going to make sure that we actually have that link in Discord so folks can always find it. But thanks for bringing everybody by, and hope you're doing well. We're right at our 5-minute break, so it's sorry that I'm going to walk away. You're going to see Bob come up for a few seconds, but thanks for swinging by. Thank everybody that joined us with the raid. And we like to be healthy, so we take a break at the top of every hour just to give our hands some relaxing time. If you're able, please get up, walk around, stretch, let your eyes focus on something else. And we'll be right back in 5. Do we have to worry about AI stealing our jobs? Nah. By the time that happens, all the other jobs are gone too. And so much of programming is digesting like business goals into code. And I think AI is going to really help with that. And it's actually going to speed up the process. Do we ever learn Django? No, we do full stack JavaScript here and use Node. Study groups, people are being added to the study groups like right now. Our wonderful mod Blah has been hard at work adding folks, and after stream I'm going to be adding folks too. So it's just been a role adding party, and so you should, some of you are already in them. Some folks already have access to their study groups, but yeah, give us like another day or two and we'll be there. Yeah, Blah is amazing. Will we go over how to price side jobs? Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna have a full class on how to freelance, and so yeah, we'll go over all that wonderful stuff. Can we learn stuff that translates over to being a game developer? Some of this can be helpful. Like once you learn a language, you can use it to bridge to other languages. But I also recommend the person that rated us, they're amazing. They build games completely from scratch. I would definitely hang out in their streams, their channels, if that's what you're into. And I'll share their Twitch link after class as well. Juicebox Hero, hey, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Hope you're doing well. Do we need to do leak code questions? We'll be doing a lot of coding challenges together, like a lot. But I would say about half my students wind up doing technical challenges. The other half don't. Yeah. Lux is the person to go to for the game development. Juicebox, how you doing? Thanks for swinging by. Indifferent. Hey, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. You're trying to keep that top spot, huh? Thank you so much. All right, folks, come on back. Come on back. Finally reading How to Win Friends and Influence People and Loving It. Hey, I'm glad to hear that you're getting something out of it. Come on back, folks. Alrighty. What's a good coding platform for coding challenges for beginner? We'll use Code Wars to start before moving on to Leak Code. All right. Welcome back. You got some amazing beard oils? Hey, send me a mod mail. Alrighty, folks. Welcome back. This is, if you didn't realize, this is a Leon Rant stream where I try to motivate and let you know what you're getting into for the next 25 weeks. I've hinted at what you're getting into for the next couple weeks, but I'm going to keep talking about it. So welcome. Global Crisis. Hey, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate you all tonight. All these gifted subs are wild. Thank you, everybody. Global Crisis. Thank you for swinging by. All right. What are code challenges? Good question. So I mentioned that we're going to be doing coding challenges. So every day you are going to have a challenge, something that you have to solve with code. They'll start off kind of simple, and then they'll build up to being more and more complex. And they're just a way of keeping the things that you're learning sharp, right? To keep your brain thinking in good ways and to get practice. The end goal is to have another skill set, which is like solving coding challenges, because a lot of companies still give you coding challenges to get a job. So instead of doing what a lot of people do, which is they go through a full boot camp and then they start doing coding challenges, we start our coding challenges in week 5 of 25 next week. So by the end, of 30, so you wind up having 25 weeks of coding challenges, and we do them every day. Every day that ends with a Y, you'll be doing a coding challenge. And so by the end of program, you will be a lean, mean coding challenge solving machine, right? That's the goal. So don't worry about it right now. We'll sign the first ones next week. But I'm just trying to paint a picture here for you. Where we're turning it up. I talked about it. I gave you the funny Simpsons gif. We're turning it up. You're doing all this networking. You're using the sheet, right? You're being consistent. You're using the sheet. You're doing your daily coding challenges. You're getting a paid client. Yes, folks, that's right. You're here to get a paid client. Due March 29th is a paid client. Now, you don't have to have the work done by March 29th. You just have to have the signed contract for the work due March 29th. Now, if you're like, what? I have no idea. What are you talking about? Getting a paid client? Don't worry. We're going to have full classes on how to freelance, how to get a paid client, how to do it. Last cohort, we had so many folks get paid clients. We're over 100K now in client earnings from last cohort, right? And so the reason why I wake up in the morning, the reason I do what I do is because of this right here, the getting paid clients. I've told you my story. When I was hungry and I needed food, I needed money for food, I got a client, they paid a deposit, I skipped my ass all the way to the supermarket, bought my pasta and pasta sauce, and lived a good life. I want that for you, right? I want you to realize that the skills that you already have value. I already have so many folks that are coming to me. Leon, I posted on Twitter, I got a client, right? Like, I want that for you. I want you to have the ability to know that you have a skill set that'll put food on the table that you can use to make money, and that you can see the skills that you have right now have value. If you can do these layouts, right? If you can do these layouts, you can get a client. That's all it is, right? And so we'll get into more about the client. It is a paid client, has to be $200 or more, can't be friends or family. Now, some folks might have restrictions. They can't do paid work. You're on unemployment or something like that. I'm not forcing you to do this. For those that literally have like logistical things that they can't do, we'll have some other options. But for everyone else, I want you to push for this. This is one of the best things you can have on your resume, right? When you go to apply for a job and somebody says, you're calling yourself a software engineer, has anyone ever paid you to be a software engineer? And you go, fuck yeah, I got tons of clients. What the fuck are you talking about? Go home, close your eyes. This is a wrap. You cut. All right? You're already software engineers, but now you're going to be paid software engineers. And somebody brought up a good point. If you're in Canada, you're not a software engineer. Sorry, I was going to say that real quick. If you're in Canada, you're not a software engineer. You're a software developer. Canada has like restrictions on who can call themselves engineers. So I'm sorry, you are software developers. Everyone else, you're software engineers unless your country restricts the word engineer. In the US, the only word that's restricted is professional engineer. So oddly enough, never call yourself a professional engineer because that's trademarked in the US at least. But everyone else, you're software engineers, right? But now we're going to add paid to the front of that. So I'm revealing some of the onion here, folks. Revealing some of the onion here, right? Sergio Holograms, hey, good to see you too. Thank you for the 10 months. That's so wild. We're revealing some of the level of the onions here. You're starting to see all the new work that's coming in, all the networking. You're seeing the coding challenges come in. You're seeing the paid clients come in. You're seeing the homework get a little bit more intense. All right. The homework's getting a little bit more intense. All right. The homework we're pushing from today to next Thursday. You have the 3 layouts that we did together, right? We've already done these 3 layouts together. I want you to get them. I want you to get all the layouts, right? So these 3, then we have the level ground that we covered. The level ground's a great layout because it's very simple. It's just boxes and text, right? I want you to get the layout. We had the source layout. I want you to get a layout. I want you to get the core layout you see here on the right, but I also want you to get a mobile version of that site as well. And I want you to have that mobile site be triggered by a media query, right? Trigger it as a media query, right? And then I'm adding 2 more. Two more. Okay. We're good. You're still here? Let's see how many people left. Oh no, people didn't leave. You're still here. Hey, I love it. Cool. So adding 2 more. We have a lovely restaurant or cuisine layout. And then we have a wonderful hair salon layout. Okay. And then of course, if you want to push, there was the push layout as well. Okay. So you had the 3 that we've already done together. I think we did them during office hours. You have the layout that was supposed to be due today anyway, right? And this one was supposed to be due today as well. Also, by the way, remember, these are layouts from Dribbble. Dribbble is a great place to see people's designs and kind of more aesthetic things in development. And so this is by Max Schneider. A link to their work is there. This layout is by Mithun Ray. Link to their work is there. Same thing, Mal Khan. Link to their work's there. And then this one, Sergi, of course, link to their work there, right? I went on Dribbble to find real layouts that real people are using. Now, the thing here is I want the layout. That's what I want. I want the layouts. Only floats? Yes, I think you should try doing this only with floats. Do that your first pass. Then if you want to do a second pass in Flexbox, go back and do it. Right? Refactorings for closers. But don't let me stand in your way. If you really want to do Flexbox, you don't want to listen to me, that's okay. Go ahead and do it. Floats are killer. That's why I asked you to do them. Floats force you to learn the box model. They force you to learn the tricky, hacky, stupid stuff. And I hate using that word, but like just really bad stuff that's built in the CSS. Right? Whereas Flex just kind of just works and you don't have to go through it. So I want you to do layouts. Now, how close these layouts to pixel perfect is up to you and your maker. Okay. I want the core layout for each. I want to be able to look at your layouts and go, that was definitely TechCrunch. That was definitely Khan Academy. That's definitely BBC. That was definitely Level Ground. That was definitely Source. That was definitely Cuisine Restaurant. That was definitely the hair salon. And if you do the push, oh, okay, I see that was the push. Right? Now, how close you get to pixel perfect is not my call. Okay? It's up to you and the amount of time that you have, right, to put into this work. I want layouts, and I want to be able to make sure that everything is part of the layout. Some tidbits of advice when you're doing this, please use ipsum, like lorem ipsum, for your placeholder text. Try and use like real words when you're doing like your headings and things like that. Hold back from putting like curse words or weird stuff in your text, because you're going to forget about it. You're eventually going to put it on GitHub, and somebody's eventually going to see it, and they're going to see that you've called every H2 fuck, right? Every H2 is always fuck, right? And so they're going to see it. You're going to forget about it. Somebody's going to be looking through your code and they're going to see it. So try not to like, I used to be guilty of this. Don't curse in your code. Don't put weird stuff in your code. Like, you're going to forget about it. Somebody's going to see it, right? I don't want that to be like the reason why some curmudgeon didn't give you an offer because, oh, people out here cursing, right? Cool. You got all those layouts. So hold on, let's recap here. Whew. We got class. We got reading. We got videos to watch. We got networking to do. We got active recall to do. We got daily coding challenges. We got paid clients. We got all these layouts. You also have to watch Independence Day. You have to watch Traversy Media's JS crash course. Right? All this is due by next Thursday. And shit just got real. Shit just got real. And when shit gets real, you have to realize this is when you are the most vulnerable. I'm gonna say that one more time. Once you've gone down Udemy Hill and you have gone past you've gone past the wearing off of novelty, right? The novelty has weared off, right? That is when you are the most vulnerable. This is where most folks start to look for the things that are going to be lower cognitive effort. They're going to look for the things that give them the feel good win in the short term, but don't help them in the long term. And so from the video that I had you watch before class, I really loved this quote. You can't read someone else's book about some theory on how to do shit. You can't read somebody else's book about some theory on how to do shit. One of the biggest things I see my students do early on is they consume so much content about how to do it, right? They consume so much content about how to do it, how to be successful, how to get to the end, right? And it feels good. They buy that course, the 100 tricks to get a job. They buy the other course, like unlocking your brain. Like it's right now, right? It's right now, right? When you're the most vulnerable, when the new brand new smell has worn off, you've jumped over the gap and you've plummeted into the trough of sorrow. And in this moment, I see a lot of students start to grab for things that are not going to help them. It's where a lot of folks make the decision that this is not for them. They're going to try something else. Maybe something else will be a little bit easier. Maybe something will have a little less homework. Maybe something else. And then what they do is they constantly jump from thing to thing, right? They jump from thing to thing. They start one course, it doesn't work. They jump to another course. They jump from one, and then 5 years later, they're still thinking about wanting to be a software engineer. Here's what I'll promise you. You do this course, you will have the skills to be a software engineer. That's a big promise, but you'll have the skills that you need. So if you need to go and jump from something to something else, just know when that doesn't work out, you can come back and get the skills you need here. Right? But you owe you to stick to something. And I've given you the taste. Right? Have you learned some HTML and CSS? Do you feel supported? Have you found a community that's going to help you? Because if you did, if you felt like you've learned some stuff, you feel like you found a community that can help you, stick with us for a little bit longer. Give me another month, right? Give me another month. If I've earned the next month from the first month, then give me another month. Because after 2 months, I guarantee you will feel as though that you have finally kind of unlocked some real skills, right? And then you'll be able to make a real decision if my style is the way for you. But what I would hate is for you at this moment, when shit just got real, to be like, nope, I'm done. Let me find something else that's easier. Because you will continue to jump from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and you won't get to the promised land. So if the first month went well, give me one more. That's all I ask. If you feel like you got some value out of the first, give me the second, because I don't want you to keep jumping and jumping and never find your way. Somebody gave me a stretch, so I got to stretch real quick. Hold on. It's not that kind of stream, folks. If you want to see me stretch, you know what you got to do. 1,000,000 channel points. Be right back. Thank you, fake Adonis, for the stretch. One day. Cool. And so this quote, I really love it. You can't read somebody else's book about some theory on how to do shit. You got to get in there and you got to do it. You got to get in there. You got to do it. Stop reading content on how to do it. Get in there. Do it. Stop reading the blogs on how to become a software engineer. Put time into your layouts. Get in the muck. Get in the mud. Get in the water. Get dirty. Tell that demon in the back of your brain, what's up? Right?
Do it! Just do it! So
winners win, losers lose. I can't say it any better. Cool. Now, there's one other thing in that video that was really important to me. And it's kind of something that we've been kind of hinting at throughout this. And they said, it was kind of like in the background, but they said, those that want to be a SEAL will be a SEAL. Those that want to be a SEAL will be a SEAL. And I've given you my caveat. My caveat to this idea is that not everyone has the privilege to jump through that gap in the trough of sorrow. And only you know if you have that privilege or not. There's no way I'll ever know, but you'll know. Right? Right? And so if you have the privilege to jump, right? If you have the privilege to jump, you have to make that decision. Do you want to be a software engineer that's employed or not? And that's it. It's all it is. It's a decision. It's that thing that says in your brain that I'm not going to give up. I'm going to do what I have to do to get shit done. That's it. Talked about fighting those demons, going into those dark places, and saying what's up. And you're going to have to do this over and over again. These fears, these concerns. I just gave you a mountain of work to get done. Guess what? 2 weeks from now, you're going to have another mountain. Guess what? A month from now, you're going to have another mountain. It's going to get harder. There's going to be more, but you will get better at it. It's a decision. And there's a couple other things from the video I want to talk about. This one has a strong disclaimer. They said we're weeding out the weak to bring the strong together. And I don't like this. I don't like the word weak here. That's not what I'm thinking at. What we're doing here is we're weeding out folks that don't want to seize the opportunity or folks that do want to seize the opportunity. That's what a bootcamp does. That's the dirty secret. That's the dirty secret. Don't use the word weak. Don't ever talk about yourself that way. Right? A bootcamp weeds out the folks that want to seize an opportunity from the folks that don't want to seize the opportunity. And you not wanting to seize the opportunity is okay. Don't feel bad if if this is not your moment, that's okay. Give yourself grace to realize, right? Give yourself the grace to realize that this might not be your moment, but there might be another moment in the future. So what a bootcamp does is it weeds out folks that want to seize opportunity from folks that don't. And I've already given you my disclaimer about the gap, right? I've already given you my disclaimer about the gap. And so these next 25 weeks are about bringing together the folks that want to seize the opportunity. That's what 100 Devs is. It's bringing folks together. Because in the video, they said, I never saw someone carry a boat or a log by themselves. I've never seen it myself. I've never, ever seen one of my students learn and get a job by themselves. It's just not possible. You could be the brightest, most smartest person on this earth. You will need other folks to learn how to code. You will need Stack Overflow. You will need documentation. You will need books. You will need IRC. You will need Discord. You will need community. So 100 Devs is about bringing together folks that want to seize the opportunity. Because I never saw someone learn how to code by themselves. And that's what we're focused on. It's the community that's going to help you in those deepest, darkest moments of the trough of sorrow to get through it. And that's why this community is so important. So, who's going to carry the boats and the logs? Who's going to come together to seize an opportunity, right? Who's going to come together to seize an opportunity, to come together to pull each other through that trough of sorrow? Put it in chat if you are. I'm seeing a lot of yeses and a lot, we got this. See a lot of bets. I'll try. Come on now. You gotta invoke the almighty Yoda. Do or do not, there is no try. Yes. All right. I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm printing out this chat log today, folks. Printing out this chat log today, folks. Gonna pin it on my wall. Cool. And then I was looking for Navy SEAL gifts, and this came up, so I'm just gonna show you this gift because I thought it was pretty cool. All right. Let's do some quick review. Let's walk through our layouts. And then I want to end with something special. You all said that you want to carry some boats and logs. I'm going to hold you to it. And we're going to do something special in Discord. Let's do our review. Let's look at these layouts together. Let's make sure folks have a good idea what they're getting into with the layouts. And then we're going to do something on Discord, and we're going to end early. That way you can have some class time to get started. Cool. All right. Golden rule, separation of concerns. Let's do this. This is what we do, folks. This is what we do. We carry the boats and the fucking log. This is what we do. What the fuck is separation of concerns? Why is it the golden rule? Why is it the golden rule? Because of organization. Let's go. Progressive enhancement. We talked about this idea that as we're building out these layouts, right? As we're building out these layouts, the core of the layouts is going to be good HTML. You got to have good HTML when you're worrying about these layouts, right? The core is the HTML. The presentation, that CSS that we wrap around, that comes second, and it shouldn't be a lot. Right? The core is the peanut, the chocolate will get us there. And then we have a thin candy coating that is JavaScript that we're going to start learning on Thursday. Thursday, we learn JavaScript, folks. Can you believe it? We're there already. Woo! All right. Where does CSS go, folks? Does it go in inline? Does it go in the head? Does it go in a separate file? Goes in a separate file, of course. Inline if you're writing HTML, emails. In the head if you work at Amazon, you have critical path CSS. Otherwise, in a separate file, so we could hear that separation of concerns. We know that this whole thing is a rule. A rule is broken down into a selector, a declaration block, a declaration, and properties and values. Now, see, this review that we're doing now should be really reviewed because you've been doing Anki every day, and all this stuff is already in your Anki, right? Right? All right. Cool. We have rules that can be overwritten by rules that come below. And the reason why we're able to overwrite rules that come above is due to the what? Due to the what? Due to the cascade. BB Tone, I see your Pokemon card. I'm going to get to you. I see your Pokemon card. When we take a break, I'll get to you. All right. Parent-child selectors. Remember, we have parent-child selectors and we have direct parent-child selectors. When you see the right caret, we got a direct. which means that the paragraph has to be directly inside the section. Lovely. You're all cruising through this stuff. Remember when this is the first time you heard this stuff, and now you're just cruising. Whew, look at y'all. We got parent-child, right? Parent-child. No caret means that it could be a child anywhere inside, right? So this paragraph is inside of a section, but it's not directly. It's directly inside of the article. So that still works. We have sibling selectors. And so this is a direct sibling, meaning that we have to have a paragraph that comes before the other paragraph. So this is the only paragraph that would become red because it's the only one that has a paragraph immediately before it. This paragraph does not have another one above it. Boom. All right, IDs and classes. IDs are how we target one element, only one element. IDs are unique. We can give an element an ID, and then it can't have another ID, and that ID cannot be shared with other elements. It's a way of targeting one thing and only one thing when it comes to our CSS. Classes are a little different. Each element can have as many classes as they want, really, and those classes can be reused across elements. So if we give Bob to a bunch of elements, all of them will be colored red. Beautiful. Specificity. How many points of specificity does this rule have? Seen it before. How many points? Yes, sir. We got 2 points for tags. We get 1 for a class and 1 for an ID. 112. Let's do this one real quick. We got 1 tag for 1 point. 1, 2, 3 classes and 1 ID. 131. Nice. We're cruising. Let's look at this. We got 1, 2, 3 tags. We got, oops, sorry, no, not tags. 1, 2, 3 classes, 0 tags, 1 ID for the Diet Coke, and an important, so we get the 1,130. Nice. Let's go. Box model. What makes up the box model in terms of width? What makes up the box model in terms of width? Box model in terms of width. Yeah. The actual width of the element. It's padding on both sides, and then it's border on both sides. Same thing for the height, right? We get the height of the element. It's padding on the top, the padding on the bottom. It's border on the top, the border on the bottom. Nice. Cool. Remember, margin's the bully that pushes the box model around. All right. We did our layout so far with floats. We'll see some flex on Tuesday. Our floats, remember, they're fighting to get to go up as much as they can, and to the left as much as they can go, or up to the right as much as they can go, and up. That's so weird. I should say it again. If you're floating something left, it's going to go up as much as you can go, and to the left as much as you can go. If you're floating something to the right, it's going to go up as much as you can go, and to the right as much as you can go. It's always fighting to get into that corner. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's talk about how to approach these layouts. So we have a lot of layouts that are being done for homework. Let's talk through each one, and then we're going to end a little early with something special. Cool. Warning. We're all baddies, and we're writing bad code. Please, you have all of these layouts to get done by Thursday. I need you to push yourself to get through these layouts. Please put in the time and effort, if you have it, to get this stuff done. It's really important that you work through these layouts, right? And it's really important that you embrace your inner baddie. Write bad code. Don't get stuck on one thing, right? Move on. You got so many layouts. If you get stuck on one layout, move to the next. I guarantee you will have learned something that you can put to use in another one, right? So be a baddie, write bad code, twerk like Tina if you need to. All right. We've already done these first 3 layouts together, so I'm going to skip those. I'm going to go right to layout 4. When I look at layout 4, I see a couple big things. Actually, let me see if I can just open these layouts. 1 second. The timer always gets in the way. All right, so we got all the new layout photos. So if you want the actual photos, you don't have to use the slides. I've given you the photos for each one. So let's go ahead and take a look at level ground. There you go. That'll enable me to make it a little bit bigger. Beautiful. When I look at level ground, I see, yeah, you're not coding along. We're just talking through this. I want you to have this in case you need to come back, right? In case you need to come back and look at this. When I look at this, I see that I have some sort of top section. Some people would maybe make this like a main. Some people might throw it all in a header, but for me, this is probably a main. I probably have a header that could be up here if I wanted it to with CSS. And then I have my navigational components in here too. So header, nav, right? And then inside the nav, I still have my UL, LIs, maybe. If I don't think that's a list of stuff, they could just be anchor tags. And then my donate button is just an anchor tag. And this logo could be a logo. When you're doing these layouts, you can just use placeholders. You can use icon fonts like Font Awesome, whatever's going to make it easier for you. Snipping and clipping exactly. You could just do screenshots. Don't put too much time into getting the right logos and everything. Get your layouts done and then come on back. Right? Definitely an H1, a paragraph, maybe like a span, and definitely a span here. And we got like a nice easy section with like an H2 and a paragraph. Then like another lovely section. And then inside this section, I probably actually have 2 sections. And then each of those sections has an image, like an H3, a paragraph, and then like an anchor tag, right? And remember, this is just my quick pass through, right? My quick pass through. You can make different decisions for this stuff, right? Go fast, be a baddie, break things. Oh, I didn't want it to go that big. All right, let's look down here. Once again, another section. Pretty easy. I love this layout because it is so easy. H3 or 4 paragraph anchor tag, right? And then this is where people get caught up. This is where people got scared, right? It's where people start losing themselves, right? Where people start to lose themselves. And you know what? You know what? Be a baddie, skip it. Next one, right? Move on to the next one, right? Skip it. Come back to it later. Once you've had more practice, come back, do the hard thing. Next, right? Who cares? You're a baddie. You write bad code. You skip things. Come on now. Let's see. We had... go in order. We had the source as well. First try. Exactly. Do you all hear the sound alerts? I'm not hearing them. Interesting. Damn, we bad as fuck. All right, you did hear them. Cool. But for real, I can talk through it if you want to talk through it. But I wanted the emphasis to be on don't get hung up on things that are getting you hung up. Move on. You got plenty of time to come back and do things. But if I'm looking at this is definitely a footer to me. And then what I've seen, I've actually given this to other developers to work on. Some of them have done lists. They've done lists for each of these. So like UL with 3 LIs inside of it, or 3 LIs with font icon fonts like Font Awesome in it, or just anchor tags, or just screenshots, whatever you want to do. But yeah, just like a list of icons. And then these were also lists with just 2 LIs in them, right? Just lists with 2 LIs in them. And these could either be like, these are like really small headings, right? Because they are headings. They describe what comes after. So like H6, right? Pick your poison. It's up to you. You could do it, right? Screenshot the whole bottom section. Got it. Exactly, Izzy. And then over here, this is just like a heading and then like a paragraph. And then this right here, you use an HR, you band, you cut. And then down here, just like another like paragraph, right? You could do border, bottom border, border top, whatever suits your fancy there. Cool. And then all that's just inside of a footer. So not too scary. How you decide to get everything to sit next to it is the hard thing there. Simply just floating your LIs will get you this that kind of layout, and just make sure they have width. Yeah. And then this little logo down here could just be a screenshot that you plop in there. Yeah. You make it sound so easy, Leon. I mean, it's not easy, right? But it's trying to talk you through some of the things that I would think about as I'm working on a layout like this, right? And the idea here is I'm not serious about it. I'm having fun with it. The sooner you can have more fun with this stuff, the easier your life's going to be. So have fun with it. Be a baddie, write bad code. If something's giving you like indigestion, skip it, right? Just skip it, right? Skip it. Come back later. You pick up so much stuff from each layout that by the time you come back to it, you've learned so many more things, right? Look at this other one here. Source. Source for me, pretty easy. We have a header up here. A lot of folks get tripped up on this. There are ways to have like your header inside of a main, right? But I think what people see this is they lose their mind. This is where people get really tripped up. You see this, and you're trying to say, all right, well, how do I get this main to be behind that header, right? And that's the wrong question, because you are thinking in terms of CSS and not in terms of your HTML. Just make this a header, make this a section, and give them the same background color. That's it. Move on. Next, right? Bingo bango.
Bing bong.
Exactly. Right? Easy. Don't do things that don't you don't have to push. Be a baddie, write bad code. All right. Same thing here. This could just be a header, right? Header, and then like your main, right? Header and your main. And then in the header, you have a very clear nav to me. Definitely with like your UL, LI anchor tags. Maybe like another loose anchor tag over here, and like a little image or logo there. You can just use some text. Yeah. In the main, we got, I'd probably split this up into like 2 sections here. This section just would have the image, right? Just be the image. And then we got like a span, a heading, probably like your H1, a simple form, and then like another paragraph, right? And then down here, it's very similar to what you did with the BBC. It's just 4 sections, each with some sort of like image or icon from Font Awesome or something like that. Maybe like a heading, like an H3 or H2, paragraph, span. And it's the same for each of them, like the icon, the heading, the paragraph, the span. And then just down here, one other section, heading, paragraph, that's good. And then we have like this lovely mobile layout, which is pretty much the same stuff, but we get it to stack. How do we get it to stack? How can we get this to stack? Yeah, you just have a media query and you set everything to like 100% width, right? You have a media query, you set it all to 100% width, it'll just stack by default, right? So use a media query, set it to 100% width, and boom, it'll stack and probably look pretty close. Yeah. People are saying, what's Font Awesome? Font Awesome is an icon font. So it's a font that's made up of different icons like logos and things like that. It's free. You can use it for your projects. I use it a lot just for quick logos and things like that. OCC just put the link in chat. Yeah, fontawesome.com. What about getting the menu to stack? There are lots of ways you could do it, but really simple would be when you're in the media query, you can just display none this stuff, right? And display block the LI that has the hamburger in it, right? So you can basically just like hide all this stuff and show this thing. There are a lot of other ways to do it, because like if you like, if some people by accident will like hide the whole header. If you hide the header and this thing is inside the header, you still can't see it. So the trick is to like hide this stuff individually and show the hamburger. And you can do that with a media query. Yeah, the floating window is how it looks on the mobile. But once again, if you get everything else and you're hung up on how to get this hamburger to work, what do? You get hung up, you don't know how to make the hamburger work, what do? Move on. Exactly. Next, skip it. Skip it. You ever try skip it? I'm a beast at skip it. My raw athleticism makes me a beast at skip it. I don't know why, but it's true. All right, let's go to the next one. Cuisine. All right, this one, ignore all this stuff here. That's just kind of like the design, right? That's not part of it. What we're looking at is the layout here. Bruh. I'm more of a Bop It person. I'm a beast at anything. So Bop It always frustrated me, but Simon Says I can get 25 deep, easy on Simon Says. We'll do it live maybe one day on stream. But like Simon Says, I don't know, there's just something in my brain that works with Simon Says, like where you have to hit the lights and you got to keep doing it in the order. Just my brain works well. I don't know why. 25 or OnlyFans, let's do it. Somebody has to I was gonna say somebody has to bet me. I don't want to bet somebody else's OnlyFans though. All right, this layout, let's see. Once again, we got navigational content at the top, UL, LIs, anchor tags, right? We got our lovely H1, a form, and maybe like a list with these social stuff. And this image, people get confused on this. That's not an image, it's a background image. So like this beautiful like fruit and stuff and like this coloring behind everything, it's not actually an image. You can have background images in your CSS. And so it's kind of confusing because some images are content and other images are style, right? I could very clearly just make this background like blue, and obviously the color blue is not content, right? I'm styling this background to be blue. So it's the same thing here. Like this image is not content. The image should not be in your HTML. It is the background in your CSS, right? I see a lot of people saying Shay Hal. Exactly. It's in Shay Hal. Boom. I love that. So here's the thing. There's just there's no amount of time where we could cover everything in class, right? And so there are those lovely nuggets in the reading, and that's why we assign the reading in all the videos, right? You gotta absorb stuff from other mediums to help you out when you get into these types of things, like these layouts. Cool. All right. Next, we have like our regular section here. Seems like a span for the About Us. I could also maybe see an argument for like some sort of header there, but I think this is the header. I would say that's probably like our H2, paragraph, anchor tag. And then down here is like another section, span, H3 a list of like pieces of text. So they do look, you're supposed to like click on them to change it. So I would say ULLI anchor tags for each of those, and then just 4 images, right? Boom. And so what I hope you're seeing is that these layouts, they seem wild at first. And yes, there are a lot of details, but the core of each layout is pretty much exactly the same, right? We're doing the same 10 tags over and over again, right? It's the same tags over and over again. It's just different. Push it to the right this time, push it to the left this time, right? Do we need to add? No, we don't. You don't need to add this stuff here. This is just like, you don't have to add any of, oh, sorry. You don't have to add any of this stuff. No, don't worry about that. It's not part of this site. Cool. Same thing up here. We've seen this already. Just, I think that's the continuation of this section. Yeah. So this right here is just this section here. You don't have to like do another one. And then this is just the page continuing, right? Page continuing. Another section. Another section. A span. A heading. And then probably just some text here, right? This is like a icon that's centered, or an image that's centered, span that's centered, another span that's probably centered. This could maybe be like 2 sections here, just to be sure, with like an H4 or 5, and then a span. Same thing, like H4 or 5, and then a span. And then this looks like a video, but you can just put an image here for now. And then down here, finally, like our last section, there's like a span and then some sort of heading, maybe like an H4 or 5, image. I don't think it's a heading, so maybe like a span, image, paragraph, and call it a day. But all these things could, are we doing these also? Exactly, yes. You have 2 new ones that you have to do. We're going to talk about SVG. You should have covered some SVGs in the reading, right? Right. Are we going to do more Flexbox before we move to JS? Yeah, we're going to do a little bit on Tuesday. Yeah, we'll do a little bit on Tuesday. A little bit. Because we want to learn JavaScript and then come back and be able to add it. Right? We want to be able to build big things. And when we come back and can build big things, like coming back and being able to actually have a hamburger menu that you can click on, right? And then having all this be Flex, right, is way more important than burning out on Flexbox right now before we can actually do good stuff with it, right? So we're going to spend time learning JavaScript, then come back so that we can build like real layouts that do stuff and have interaction and behavior. And that's when Flex becomes really helpful. All right. SOT125, you gave me a stretch, but you also gave me a stretch during the break. So double dipped, I guess. Let's go ahead and take our break. We have just the push layout that's left, I believe, to go over, which we'll take a peek at. And then when we come back from the break, I got maybe just a few more minutes. I want to share with you some big things. And then I want to do something fun on Discord, and we'll call it for this evening. We also have the Pokemon card. So when we come back, we'll do the Pokemon card. We'll do the raffle for the first 100 devs t-shirt of the cohort. And we'll look at one more layout, and then we'll call it. So maybe we'll do a quick raid. All right, so let's go ahead and put 5 minutes on the timer here. Alrighty. If you're able, please get up, move around, stretch, let your eyes focus on something that's not your screen. We're in this for the long haul, folks. 25 more weeks. Let's get it. See you in 5. Can we go over the salon layout too? Yeah, we'll do that for sure. Overlay. Bangles. Yeah, I think I decided that earlier. Princess Sparkle Bottom. Tell them I said good night. Good night. Why do you not like button tags? Because they're messy. I just use anchor tags. Is it okay to use display inline block to display a list horizontally? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You put your hairspray? Did I put hairspray in my hair? No, never. If you're locked out of Discord, send a. Well, first make sure you're not banned. Send a unban request just to make sure. But you shouldn't be locked out of Discord for any reason unless you're banned. Go ahead, indifferent, nerd out on me. Did you find a new hair care product? No, not yet. A lot of people sent me really good recommendations though. I just gotta take some time to try a bunch of them. What's your favorite band? 5 Iron Frenzy. All right. Sorry, we got to do the hair salon folks one. Let me pull that up. All right. Hair salon. Here we go. Beautiful. All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, I mean, growing up for me, it was very much like hardcore rap and grime, punk music and ska. Like that was my range. That's all I listened to. I think they're not that far away as most people would think. All right. Cool. So this is the hair care layout. And I think the tricky one about this is that like there's this like image thing, but remember this image would be all a background image. So you don't have to worry about like this curve thing. That's all part of the image. That's not actually like part of the HTML, right? So if I'm looking at this, I have my header and then I have my main, right? And that main just has like a background image that happens to look wonky with like that skewing and stuff like that. That's not something you have to worry about in terms of CSS. And then we have our header, right? We have our heading, our H1 blonde and highlight. We got maybe like a paragraph, anchor tag or button. And this is just like another section that's in there with some text, maybe a span, maybe a paragraph. Maybe this like 20% is a span that you can make differently, like size it differently. And then another button or anchor tag. And then over here, two anchor tags. Cool. So I think this one's pretty easy. And then the nav too is pretty straightforward, just like our normal nav, ul, li anchor tags. These words on the side, I actually didn't even see that. That's probably just like a span. You can actually do transforming with CSS. We're going to do a class on like CSS animations and stuff later on, because I really like that stuff. But you can actually like skew and rotate and all that fun stuff and transform with CSS. So you could like have it typed out regularly and then like flip it if you wanted to. Once we learn JavaScript, we'll do the class on like CSS tricks and CSS animations, because I want you to be able to like click and trigger animations that are all done in CSS. And so, yeah, we'll come back to that stuff in the future just because I think it's fun. Then down here, we just have like a normal section, almost exactly like the BBC, where you have 3 sections inside: image, heading, paragraph for all 3 of them, probably like an H3 in there. And then down here, another section, same thing. You have like a heading, maybe like an H3 or 4, a paragraph, anchor tag or button, image, right? And then if we look on this other side, it's just continuing the same layout. Once again, just section, 1, 2, 3 sections inside of it. It looks like these could be images, and then maybe, I actually think this probably this whole thing is an image. There is text, so it shouldn't be though, right? Yeah, this would probably be like a section. There's 3 sections, right? 3 sections, probably inside of a section, and the section has an image, and then maybe there's, I'm being a baddie, right? Be a baddie. Tell me to be a baddie. Be a baddie. What did I say? A div? A div with maybe a heading because it's their name, and then a span. Right? Ooh, I felt bad. I felt good. Be a baddie, write bad code, right? Don't get hung up on it, right? Don't get hung up on it. Cool. Next one. Section. Same thing. This whole image is just a background that'll be in the CSS. And so this is probably like a span, maybe like a paragraph, maybe a span to target that one differently, anchor tag or button. And then the other thing here is that there are like things that are grabbing your attention. So you might maybe think about M or strong tags somewhere in here. And then lookbook is pretty clean as well. Heading, maybe like your H5 or 6. And then all these are just images. And eventually, once we get to JavaScript, there are lots of like off-the-shelf JavaScript that makes doing this thing easy. So like in your HTML, it would just be your 20 images, and then we would have some CSS and JavaScript that would do the grid. The old school one is called Masonry. We used to do that back in the day. Like Masonry would help you do the tiling, but now it's built into a lot of like UI systems as well. Yeah, this is just one website. This is like the top half of it, and this is the bottom half of it. Still the same site. Do we use floats for this page? Yeah, I think you should do your first pass with floats just to learn how to use them. If you want to do a second pass on Flex, or if you get stuck and you need to use Flex, that's okay. Cool. I think that's all the layouts that we had for homework. We had the original 3 layouts that you had to get done, the level ground, the source, which we covered, the cuisine, which we covered, and the blonde and highlight, which we covered. So you have a lot of layouts to get to, layouts you could get to, right? But put it in the work. All right. If you want to push, I gave you a push layout. The push layout, I'm not going to go over because it should be a push, right? Leon, is it just layouts, not the exact images and such? I want you to get close, right? At first, write bad code, just get the layouts done. But the closer you can get your layouts looking presentable, the better you can do. And like I said, I want the core layout. How close you get to pixel perfect is between you and your maker, right? That's up to you to figure out how close you want to take it to pixel perfect. Some folks are going to have more privilege of time, so they'll go super deep. But yeah, put your time into these layouts. I wouldn't put your time into anything else besides these layouts and the videos that you have to watch. Dope. Remember, on top of all these layouts, by next Thursday, you must have also watched Independence Day and the goat of all goats. Traversy Media has a wonderful JS crash course. Just get through it. I just want you to be introduced to a lot of the material that we'll be covering in class in way more detail. Okay. All right. We talked about making our sites responsive, meaning that we don't have them just set to a fixed width, meaning that they respond to the different viewports or size of the screen. It looks good across devices. Remember, when you're making a responsive website, you want it to be fluid. Your things are sized in percentages or using Flex so that as you kind of shrink and grow the screen, it responds fluidly. Elastic, meaning that we're using fonts and other bits of text in M's and Rems. And then you're also making good content decisions. When do you decide to show that mobile layout based on the viewport size? Cool. All right, you're using media queries to make your content decisions. And for those last layout 5, 6, and 7, I would want you to have at least one media query, right? At least one media query where you're setting like the mobile layout as opposed to just having a regular kind of full width layout. So if we look at the past layouts, push, I would want you to make it mobile responsive. Layout 7, make it mobile responsive. Layout 6, make it mobile responsive. And layout 5, make it mobile responsive. So 5, 6, 7, and push, I want at least one media query. At least one media query and a site that looks decent on mobile. Cool. Where can I find these wireframes? They are in the follow along materials channel on Discord. All of our material will always be on Discord. The Traversing Media course costs money. No, you're not doing the course. You're just watching the video. The video is completely free online on YouTube. Can you get the background images? You can right click and download them, or you can just take screenshots to grab all the images, but don't pressure yourself to get perfect images. You can use anything, placeholders. There's a bunch of placeholder websites. See if I can find one here. Yeah, here you go. So this is Place Kitten. This is Place Kitten. Get a little bigger here. So what you do so instead of like having to download an image, you can just do placekitten.com 200 by 300. And what that'll do is it'll give you a 200 by 300 image. So whatever size you put in there, that's the size of the image that it gives you. So you can just use Place Kittens everywhere if you want it to. There's also one called Placehold It that does the same thing, but they're just like gray boxes. So if you just want to be like quick and like go through your layouts with just placeholder images, this is what you can use. Yeah. Cool. Want the responsiveness, talk about content decisions, and then the last little bit, because we're gonna end early tonight. We'll do our raid just because people need the channel points, right? We need the channel points. But the idea here is that I hope you dig deep. I hope with all this work, you fight the suck and you start to carry the fucking logs. Okay? I believe in you. I think if you put in this work and you have the privilege of being able to jump over the gap, you can honestly really do this. And as always, you don't have to listen to just me, right? Go look in the celebrations channel. Look at all the pinned comments. Look at all the pinned jobs, right? You can do this. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you do. You have a decision to make. If you have the privilege of jumping across that gap, are you going to put in the work over the next 25 weeks to dig deep, fight the suck, and carry the fucking logs? Because if you do, you have an amazing community behind you that wants to see you succeed, that wants to see you win, and you know that you can do this. You have to fight those demons in the back of your brain all the time, but you can do this. All right, I want to do a raffle, and then we'll do a raid. This raffle is for the first t-shirt of the cohort. Give me 1 second to queue it up here. So I'll tell you when it opens in a second. Alrighty. All right, they don't make it easy to just have them queued up. Alrighty. the raffle should now be open. You can do !raffle in chat. This is for the first 100 devs t-shirt of the cohort. It's a lovely black t-shirt with the 100 devs text on it and the word software engineer underneath of it. It's beautiful. It is a great high quality t-shirt. You will very much enjoy it. So everyone can do !raffle. I'm gonna leave it open for like a minute or so, just so everyone can get in here if they want to get in here. All right, about 30 more seconds. More seconds. All right, I'm going to close it. 3, 2, 1. Closed. All right, we're going to pick the winner. Winner is, drum roll please, Rebecca Itching. Hey. Congrats. Make sure you respond to that message that just pinged you so you can get the t-shirt. We'll do more of these raffles soon. We'll do a merch drop soon. So many folks keep asking for merch. We're gonna make it happen. Holy smokes. Run the Sims. Hey, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. That's wild. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We also have to do a Pokemon card raffle. So let's do the Pokemon card real quick. And then I want to do one thing before we do the raid. So I want to do the Pokemon card and then I want to do one more thing before the raid. So let's go ahead and just open up an inspector here. And let's go to the console. There we go. Math.seal times 64. So what this is going to do is going to give us a number between 1 and 64 that coordinates with the Pokemon card list. All right, so here is the Pokemon cards list that we'll have up. Let's go ahead and do the math. 3, 2, 1, 59. All right, so BB Tone, 59. You got an Ambipom coming your way. Ambipom G. Yeah, that was a good card back in the day for certain decks. All right, coming your way. Make sure you send me a whisper here on Twitch with your contact info so I can send the card your way. The Pokemon cards are 50,000 channel points and I mail it to you. So go ahead and send me a message here on Twitch. I'll get it your way. All right, the thing I wanted to do before we do the raid. We're going to do the raid. We're going to send some love and positivity. All right. But then we have a little bit of time. About half an hour extra. I want you to get on Discord. Now I just want you to put somewhere that you're going to carry the boats and the logs. Because to me, carrying the boats and the logs is not a singular endeavor, right? So somewhere, I don't care if it's general, I don't care if it's in Hamilton, I don't care where it is on Discord, maybe your study community, if you've gotten added to one yet. We're working on it tonight and tomorrow, right? Shout out Bilal, thank you so much, right? I want you to go somewhere on Discord and say that you're going to carry the boats and logs. I want to see an overwhelming amount of people commit to carrying the boats and the logs. Because when you commit to carrying the boats and the logs, it's not just about you. It's about all the other folks that you're going to help carry that boats and the logs, because nobody carries boats and logs by themselves. So somewhere we're gonna blow up Discord somewhere, put it, just so that I have the proof 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 2 months from now that you said you're going to help carry the boats and logs. I can just control search for it and I'm going to see that you said you're going to carry the boats and logs. So I want you to do that tonight. We're going to do a raid so you can get the channel points. But then you got a half an hour. Put it in Discord somewhere, please. And then please work on the layout. We're going to go over to Rav. We're going to say, what's up to Rav? Give them a follow. If you haven't given them a follow. Say hello. Spread some love. But then take some time to start on the layout. You got an extra half an hour. Use it. right? Make that decision. Use the half an hour to start a layout. All right, let's go ahead and start the raid. Hope you all had a good night. I know it's a little bit different of a stream. You can do this, and we'll be here to help. No office hours this Sunday. Well, no official office hours. I might do a stream that'll be a little bit different, depending on if I can move my desk or not by the time. But no official office hours, but we might do something on stream anyway. Let's raid. Have a wonderful rest of your night, everybody. Peace.